What if humanity's next great step isn't just leaving our home planet, but truly thriving far beyond it? For all of our history, we have looked up at the night sky with a sense of wonder. The stars have been our guides, our muses, and our calendars. They have filled our myths and our dreams. But now, we stand at a unique moment in time. We are no longer just looking up. We are reaching out. The possibility of becoming a species that lives on more than one world is no longer confined to the pages of science fiction. It is a future we can actively, thoughtfully, and bravely begin to build for ourselves and for all who come after us. This is not merely a question of technology or engineering. It is a question about the very essence of who we are. Are we destined to remain on this single, beautiful, fragile blue marble forever? Or is our nature, the same nature that drove our ancestors out of Africa and across every continent, now calling us to the vast, dark oceans of space? The universe is immense, filled with more worlds than we can possibly imagine. Our future could be a multi-planetary one, a grand story written across the stars. This single idea has the power to change absolutely everything about our society, our economy, and our understanding of what it means to be human. Imagine a future where children are born on Mars, looking up at a sky that holds a tiny blue star called Earth. Think of cities built beneath the thick orange clouds of Titan, or science outposts orbiting the gas giants of our solar system. This is a future where humanity is not just a terrestrial species, but a cosmic one. The challenges are enormous, of course. The distances are mind-boggling, and the environments are hostile. But the human spirit has always been defined by its willingness to face the impossible. We climb the highest mountains, and we dive to the deepest oceans, not just because they are there, but because we are driven to explore and to understand. The journey ahead will require the best of us. It will demand unprecedented levels of cooperation, innovation, and courage. We will need to invent new ways to live, new ways to govern, and new ways to think about our place in the cosmos. But the potential reward is nothing less than the long-term survival and flourishing of our species. By venturing into space, we give ourselves a chance to start anew, to build better societies, and to perhaps finally answer the oldest question of all. Are we alone in the universe? The cosmos is waiting. The story of our galactic future is ours to write, and the first chapter begins now. Our home, the Earth, is a paradise. It is a vibrant, living world that has nurtured us for millions of years. It gave us air to breathe, water to drink, and a stable home in a vast and often chaotic universe. But our cradle is beginning to show signs of strain. The climate is changing at an alarming rate. Our natural resources are being used up faster than they can be replaced, and our growing population is putting immense pressure on the planet's delicate ecosystems. We are facing a series of interconnected challenges that threaten the very stability of our global civilization. Earth has been our generous host, but we may be overstaying our welcome in our current form. This is not a message of despair, but one of urgent reality. The problems we face are of our own making, and the solutions must also come from us. While we must do everything in our power to protect and heal our home planet, we should also look at the bigger picture. Relying on a single planet makes our species incredibly vulnerable. A single catastrophic event, whether a large asteroid impact, a supervolcano, or a self-inflicted environmental collapse, could spell the end of humanity's story. Spreading out among the stars is not about abandoning Earth. It is about creating a backup plan for our species. It is the ultimate insurance policy. Yet, the drive to leave Earth is not fueled solely by fear. It is also powered by one of the most fundamental aspects of our nature, our insatiable curiosity. We are explorers at heart. It is the same impulse that led ancient mariners to cross vast oceans with no guarantee of what lay on the other side. They were searching for new lands, new resources, and new knowledge. Today, the oceans we seek to cross are made of space, and the new lands are other worlds. The call of the unknown is a powerful one. We want to know what is over the next hill, beyond the next star, and at the edge of the galaxy. Expanding to other worlds, therefore, is not just about survival. It is an extraordinary opportunity for growth and renewal. It is a chance to build new societies from the ground up, learning from the mistakes we have made here on Earth. Imagine designing communities that are truly sustainable, governments that are truly fair, and cultures that celebrate the rich diversity of human experience in entirely new ways. The challenges on Earth are a push factor, urging us to look for other options. But the boundless promise of the cosmos is an equally powerful pull factor, inviting us to embark on the greatest adventure in human history. The journey to another world will be the most ambitious undertaking our species has ever attempted. It begins not with a single launch, but with decades of meticulous planning, scientific breakthroughs, and the collective will of nations. The first pioneers will not be tourists. They will be highly trained astronauts, scientists, and engineers on a one-way trip. Their starships will be more than just vehicles. They will be self-contained worlds, tiny arks carrying the first seeds of humanity to a new shore. These ships must protect their inhabitants from the harsh radiation of space, recycle every drop of water and every breath of air, and provide sustenance for a journey that could last for months or even years. Life for these first space pioneers will be a unique and challenging experience. They will live in confined spaces, far from everything and everyone they have ever known. The familiar blue sky will be replaced by the unending blackness of space, punctuated by the brilliant, unblinking light of distant stars. They will witness sights that no human has ever seen before, such as the Earth shrinking to a tiny, fragile-looking ball of blue and white. Their daily lives will be a strict routine of system checks, scientific experiments, and physical exercise to counter the muscle and bone loss caused by zero gravity. Their psychological resilience will be tested as much as their physical endurance. The bonds formed between these crew members will be incredibly strong, forged in shared isolation and a common purpose. They will become a new kind of family, reliant on one another for survival, for comfort, and for hope. They will be the living bridge between our world and the next. Their communications with Earth will have a significant time delay, making real-time conversation impossible. This will create a profound sense of separation, a feeling of being truly on their own. Every decision they make will carry immense weight, as they are not just responsible for their own lives, but for the future of the entire mission. Their arrival will be a moment of triumph for all of humanity. When the first human boots touch the red soil of Mars, or the frozen plains of a distant moon, it will mark the beginning of a new era. These pioneers will not just be explorers, they will be builders. Their first task will be to establish a foothold, a base of operations from which humanity's presence can grow. They will deploy habitats, set up power systems, and begin the long, difficult process of learning to live on an alien world. They are the vanguard, the brave few who are paving the way for the many who will follow in their footsteps. Once we arrive, where will we live? The first human settlements on other worlds will likely be built on Mars. It is relatively close, has a day-night cycle similar to Earth's, and possesses frozen water that can be harvested. However, its thin atmosphere and cold temperatures mean we cannot simply walk outside. The first Martian cities will probably be large, pressurized domes. Inside these transparent bubbles, we could create Earth-like environments with breathable air, stable temperatures, and open green spaces. Parks, homes, and farms would all exist under a protective shield, with the red Martian landscape always visible just beyond the glass, a constant reminder of their new home. As our technology advances, we may even attempt the monumental task of terraforming. This is the process of deliberately changing a planet's atmosphere, temperature, and ecology to make it more like Earth. On Mars, this could involve releasing greenhouse gases trapped in the polar ice caps to thicken the atmosphere and warm the planet. Over centuries, this could lead to the creation of liquid water, rivers, lakes, and eventually, a breathable atmosphere. It is a project of almost unimaginable scale, a planetary engineering effort that would span generations. A fully terraformed Mars could one day become a second blue planet in our solar system. But our ambitions need not be limited to Mars. Consider Titan, Saturn's largest moon. It is a fascinating world with a thick, nitrogen-rich atmosphere and rivers and lakes of liquid methane. While incredibly cold, its dense atmosphere offers protection from radiation, and its hydrocarbons could be a valuable energy source. Human habitats on Titan might be built underground to harness geothermal heat, or they could be great, floating cities suspended in the thick atmosphere like majestic airships. Living on Titan would be a completely different experience, a life lived under a permanent orange haze, in a landscape sculpted by alien weather systems. Beyond our solar system, we may one day find exoplanets that are even more suitable for life. The ultimate goal would be to find a true Earth 2.0, a planet that is already habitable. But even worlds that are not perfect could be colonized. We could build orbiting space stations, vast rotating cylinders that create artificial gravity, housing millions of people in manufactured ecosystems. These O'Neill cylinders would be worlds in their own right, with their own weather, landscapes, and cities. Humanity's future homes could be as diverse as the worlds in our galaxy, each one a unique experiment in living. So, what would daily life actually be like for the citizens of these new worlds? Well, it would be a reality shaped, by the unique environment of each planet or habitat. On Mars, where gravity is only about 1/3 of Earth's, people would feel lighter, and honestly, stronger. They could jump higher and lift heavier objects, which would affect everything from sports to architecture. Buildings could be taller and more slender, and new forms of recreation would definitely emerge. However, this lower gravity would also have long-term effects on human biology. Children born on Mars might grow up taller and with a different bone structure, perhaps making it difficult for them to ever visit the high-gravity environment of Earth. Social and cultural life would also be different. The first colonies would be small, close-knit communities where everyone knows each other, and cooperation would be absolutely essential for survival. This could lead to the development of highly communal cultures, where the needs of the group are placed above the desires of the individual. Art, music, and stories would reflect their new reality. They would sing songs about the two moons of Mars, Phobos and Deimos, and paint landscapes of the vast Valles Marineris Canyon. Their connection to Earth would be one of heritage, but their immediate identity would be Martian. Government and laws would need to adapt as well. The first settlements would likely be run by the space agency or corporation that funded the mission. But as the colonies grow and become more self-sufficient, they would, demand more autonomy. How would they govern themselves? They might experiment with new forms of democracy, perhaps using technology to allow every citizen to vote on major issues directly. The legal systems would have to address new challenges, such as resource rights in a sealed habitat, or the legal status of a person born on another planet. These new societies would be grand political experiments. The very concept of what it means to be human would begin to evolve. As humanity spreads across the galaxy, we would diversify. The Martians, with their unique physiology and culture, might start to see themselves as a separate branch of humanity. The inhabitants of a floating city on Titan or an orbiting station around Jupiter would develop their own distinct identities. Over many generations, we could see the emergence of different human subspecies, each adapted to their specific environment. We would still be a single species in origin, but our experiences and even our biology would become as varied as the worlds we inhabit. Living on different worlds would fundamentally change our cultures, our governments, and our sense of who we are. For generations, national and ethnic identities have defined us here on Earth. But for a child born on Mars, the concept of being French, Japanese, or Nigerian might seem distant and abstract. Their primary identity would be Martian. They would share a common experience of living under a red sky, in a low-gravity environment, and as part of a pioneering community. The old divisions of Earth would fade in importance, replaced by a new planetary identity. Humanity would no longer be a single, monolithic culture, but a beautiful mosaic of different planetary societies. This diversification would lead to an explosion of cultural creativity. Just as different environments on Earth gave rise to unique cultures, so too would the different environments of space. The art of a society living in a rotating space habitat, with its manufactured landscapes and controlled gravity, would be vastly different from the art of a society on a terraformed Mars. Their music, literature, and philosophies would be shaped by their relationship with their new home and their view of the cosmos. We might see new religions or spiritual beliefs emerge, inspired by the profound experience of living among the stars and witnessing the universe from a new perspective. The political landscape would also be redrawn. The colonies would start as outposts of Earth-based nations or corporations, but they would inevitably strive for independence. This could lead to the formation of new interplanetary political structures, like a federation of solar system planets. How would Earth, the historical center of human power, react to these new, independent worlds? The relationship between the old world and the new world would be complex, filled with both cooperation and potential conflict. The lessons of colonialism from Earth's own history would be vital to remember, to ensure a future based on partnership, not domination. Ultimately, this expansion would transform our understanding of humanity itself. We would be a species scattered across multiple homes, each branch evolving in its own unique way. This could be our greatest strength. A diverse, distributed humanity would be far more resilient and adaptable than a species confined to a single planet. If a catastrophe were to befall one world, the others would carry on the flame of human consciousness. Our sense of identity would expand beyond human to Martian human, Titanian human, or Alpha Centaurian human. We would be one species, but many people, united by a shared origin and a shared destiny among the stars. The expansion of humanity into space will unlock an economy of unimaginable scale. The solar system is filled with vast quantities of resources, far more than are available on Earth. Asteroids, for example, are floating treasure troves of valuable metals. A single large metallic asteroid could contain more iron, nickel, and platinum than has ever been mined in human history. Robotic mining missions could capture these asteroids and process their materials in space. These resources could be used to build new habitats, starships, and space factories, creating a self-sustaining industrial base beyond Earth. This would be the birth of a new economic frontier. This abundance of resources will lead to the rise of new industries and interplanetary trade routes. Space factories, operating in the zero-gravity and vacuum of space, could manufacture products that are impossible to make on Earth, such as perfectly pure crystals for advanced electronics or flawless metal alloys. These goods could be traded between the different settlements in the solar system. Mars might export specialized agricultural products grown in its unique conditions, while colonies on Titan could export energy in the form of harvested hydrocarbons. Earth, in turn, could export high-tech goods, cultural content, and biological data. A complex web of trade would connect the scattered homes of humanity. The economics of space will be fundamentally different from those on Earth. On our home planet, value is often tied to scarcity. In space, many resources that are rare on Earth, like precious metals, will be abundant. The most valuable commodities in the off-world economy might be things we currently take for granted, such as water, air, organic matter, and information. Data from scientific exploration, new technological blueprints, and even artistic creations could become highly prized assets. This new economic model could challenge our current ideas about wealth and value, creating a post-scarcity society for some resources while creating new scarcities for others. This galactic marketplace will create immense opportunities for innovation and prosperity. It will drive the development of new technologies in robotics, artificial intelligence, propulsion, and life support. It will create jobs not just for astronauts and miners, but for engineers, programmers, lawyers specializing in space law, and artists creating new forms of entertainment for a spacefaring society. The economic boom fueled by space expansion could help to solve many of the resource-based problems we face on Earth. By tapping into the wealth of the solar system, we could build a more prosperous and sustainable future for all of humanity, both on our home planet and beyond. While the vision of a galactic future is inspiring, it is not without its potential dangers and moral challenges. One of the greatest risks is the emergence of a new, interplanetary inequality. The cost of space travel and establishing colonies will be enormous. Initially, this will likely be funded by wealthy nations or powerful corporations. This could create a deep divide between the haves and the have-nots. Will space become a playground for the rich, while the majority of humanity remains on an increasingly troubled Earth? This could lead to resentment and conflict, creating a solar system divided by wealth and opportunity. The power dynamics between Earth and its colonies could also become a source of tension. Earth, as the mother world, might try to maintain control over its off-world settlements, treating them as mere resource depots or extensions of its own power. The colonies, however, will develop their own interests and identities. They will want to control their own resources and determine their own destiny. This classic struggle between a colonial power and its subjects could be replayed on a cosmic scale. A Martian war of independence is not just a trope of science fiction. It is a plausible future conflict we must actively work to avoid. Furthermore, we must be careful not to export our worst habits into space. The history of exploration on Earth is filled with exploitation, environmental destruction, and conflict. Will we repeat these mistakes on other worlds? Will we strip mine asteroids and planets without regard for their scientific value or potential for future life? Will we carry our terrestrial conflicts, our national rivalries, and our weapons into space? The frontier of space offers a chance for a fresh start, but only if we make a conscious and collective effort to learn from our past. We must establish strong international agreements and ethical guidelines for space exploration and settlement from the very beginning. The challenges are not just political and economic, they are also deeply human. The psychological toll on colonists living in isolated, hostile environments could be immense. What happens when a habitat fails? What are the ethical implications of creating genetically modified humans to better survive on other planets? We will be faced with profound questions that touch upon the very definition of life and morality. Navigating these shadows between the worlds will require as much wisdom, empathy, and foresight as the scientific and technological challenges. Our journey to the stars must be a moral and ethical one, as well as a physical one. So we return to the grandest of questions. Does humanity belong among the stars? Is our destiny written in the cosmic dust, or is it just a fleeting dream? Looking at our history, at our relentless drive to explore, to learn, and to overcome limits, it is hard not to feel that the universe is our natural home. We are the products of stardust. The iron in our blood and the calcium in our bones were forged in the hearts of dying stars billions of years ago. In a very real sense, venturing into space is not about leaving home. It is about returning to our origins. It is about reconnecting with the cosmos from which we came. By becoming a multi-planetary species, we transform our place in the universe. We would no longer be passive observers on a single isolated world. We would become active participants in the cosmic story. This new perspective could have a profound effect on our species. Seeing the Earth as just one of many homes could foster a greater sense of unity and a deeper appreciation for the fragility and beauty of all life. We would be able to apply the lessons learned from protecting Earth's environment to the stewardship of new worlds, ensuring that we do not repeat our past mistakes on a galactic scale. And then, there is the possibility of encountering other life. As we explore more worlds, the chances of finding life, whether microbial or intelligent, will increase. What would it mean for humanity to know, for certain, that we are not alone? Such a discovery would revolutionize science, philosophy, and religion. It would reshape our understanding of our own significance. It would be the single most profound discovery in human history, and it is a discovery we can only make if we venture out into the great darkness. We must go out there and look. Ultimately, whether spreading among the stars is our destiny, or just a dream is a choice that we must make. It is a choice about what kind of future we want to build. Do we choose to remain on our cradle planet, facing our challenges alone? Or do we choose to embrace the vastness, to take the risk, and to become something more? The universe is silent, but it is not empty. It is full of possibility, full of wonder, and full of potential futures. The stars are calling to us, as they have for millennia. Perhaps it is finally time to answer,